Episode 10. Vince, help me. Vince looked at her anxious face and her hands that tugged at his sleeve. Madison spoke calmly and firmly, as though she had found her salvation. Be it chemotherapy or surgery, I'll do anything as long as I can have more time to live. Only by living would she have the time to find out the truth and accompany her father for a longer time. Vince did not understand what she had been through, but as long as she had the will to live, he, as a doctor, was positively delighted. All right, I'll arrange your first chemotherapy session right away. Vince scheduled Madison's first round of chemo for the day after tomorrow to prevent her condition from deteriorating. The chemo would come with a plethora of side effects. In the first 2 weeks, the patient would feel weak and experience hair loss. That was why Madison would have to get everything sorted out before the session. Although Jeff was still in a coma, at least Madison didn't need to worry about paying off his medical bills. She made a payment at the hospital before heading back to the home that she used to share with Hunter. She was worried that she might be too weak after chemo. Hence, she booked the services of a moving company before starting chemo. She was planning to move out of this place anyway. Madison's best friend, Everly Hilton, showed up in office wear. She strutted around in heels while clutching a crossbody. At the same time, she happened to be carrying 2 bags of chips as well. Madison immediately heard her friend's loud voice from afar. Maddie, you are finally free of suffering. I just received the commission from my property sale last month, so let me treat you to a fun night at the Dark Horse Clubhouse today. There are so many guys out there for you. Everly did not know about Madison's diagnosis because she went abroad to visit her boyfriend in the same week Madison hid away. She simply thought that Madison had given it a good thought and decided to go for a divorce. Madison chuckled in response. No, that won't work. I'm scared that your beau might show up and knock on my door right away when he hears about that. Oh, drop it. I will never believe in long-distance relationships anymore. I wanted to show up and surprise him, but guess what? That fucker took my hard-earned commissions and spent it all on another bitch. Everly looked vicious, yet her eyes were filled with pain. Her 7-year relationship was over, all because they went long distance. Madison wanted to offer words of comfort, but at the thought of her messy marriage, she felt that she didn't have the right to reassure others. Instead, she remarked, knowing you, you must have caused quite a scene. Everly led Madison over to the bench by the flower garden and took a seat. She gave Madison a bag of chips while she started eating out of the other. My temper has long mellowed after all these years of a long-distance relationship. I had a bad feeling about this whole thing anyway. You can fall in love for many reasons, but you only need one to fall out of it. She stared into the misty sky and went on. At the beginning, he'd fly across the globe just to see me on Valentine's Day, even if he only had a few days off. Now, he hasn't come home once in 3 years. He'd wish me good morning before he went to bed, but he didn't text me as much in the last few years. I thought he was busy with his PhD studies, so I started working part-time as a property agent just to support him financially, all while studying full-time. Everly's sadness intensified. What haven't I done for money? And with the money from my commissions, I even bought him a house abroad. Maddie, this storyline is right out of a soap opera. She continued to lament. At one point, I thought I'd go mad. It was quite ridiculous, catching him cheating in the boxers that I bought for him. Everly was grinning, but tears rolled off her cheeks onto the bag of chips in her hand. I had to think twice before buying coffee. I lived so frugally just to support him. But what did I get in the end? I'm a prestigious med school student who is rushing between apartment viewings just to support a trader. He might have even bought the condoms with my card. Madison reached out to hug her best friend. Oh, please don't cry. He isn't worth your time. That's what I think too. Do you know how nice I was to him? I did not make a scene. I lit a cigarette and started calculating the money he had to pay me back. Thank God, I put the house under my name. I evicted him and that bitch that same night. Madison was rather taken aback by Everly's decisiveness. So, did he agree to everything? Of course not. He immediately fell to his knees and wanted me to forgive him when I asked for the house and money back. When I saw him crying in front of me, I wondered what made me fall for him in the first place. Anyway, I stayed around for a couple of days to sell off the house and cut all ties with him before I came home. Everly quickly wiped away her tears and continued, Maddie, we're long past the age of believing in romantic love. We have to choose between love and bread, right? You didn't like it when I told you to get a divorce a year ago, so I'm glad that you finally thought it through. Just from your divorce settlement with Hunter Williams alone, you would be able to last for a few lifetimes and then some. Everly smiled once she finished her last chip. Look, even if you lost your man, you could spend his hard-earned wealth on 10 different smoking hot dudes. Isn't that awesome? Madison coughed awkwardly. I only got $10 million from Hunter.
What?
The audacity of that cheating bastard to offer you only $10 million. Everly gasped in disbelief. Wasn't he very generous to you? Since when did he become so stingy? It's not like he's short of money. Madison didn't explain further. When a man's in love, he'll give you the moon. When he's no longer into you, you're worse than trash. Let's not talk about him. I wanted you here to help me with moving out.
Sure.
I'll treat you to a nice dinner after this. Madison smiled. Okay. Almost everything in the villa belonged to Hunter, so there wasn't much for her to pack. It was less of a move out and more of a dropping by to pick up her belongings. A wedding photo was hung on the wall. Madison could be seen smiling brightly in the photo. Even Hunter, who always looked serious, managed to crack a smile too.
Full story is available at novelpalace.com. Click the link in the comment section to get it free.